Well, welcome everybody to our first Tuesday of the month in July 2024. We are so pleased to have you all join this LiveYounger Success Team call. We have got a very special time ahead of us for the next 30 minutes. We have the privilege of being able to have David Jumper join us. This is a rare opportunity. And any of you who are wanting to know more about Lifewave and trying to think about how to do the business part of it, I know David is a wealth of information. So we've got some prepared questions for him. But before we go into questioning and hearing the answers, be sure to write down any of your questions, put them in the chat. And if we have time, we will address those, okay? So thanks again, everybody who's taken the time out of their very busy days. We know that this is something that just doesn't happen by happenstance. You have planned to add this into your week, and so we, Pete and I, are very thankful to Pete to make an introduction, and then we're going to get right into the interview. So go ahead, Pete. Oh, Pete, can't hear you.
I guess you got to unmute. Wonderful technology. Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Usually coming in from Playa del Carmen, but this time coming in from Winkler, Manitoba, Canada. So it's great to have every one of you that attended live here with us today. It's a privilege and an honor. And of course, our wonderful Judy Friesen, the top point tracker in the Punta Cana, was our MC and opening things up. Just want to say I'm so proud of Judy and her team and the efforts that she's done in working with Carl Krebs, and he's a little under the weather today, so he's sort of handed the interview reins over to Judy. But before we get into that, I just want to really make everybody feel welcome here tonight. And I see we've got my sponsor, partner Lynette from Puerto Rico on the call with us as well. Kelvin from Belize, Central America with us. So many wonderful people here tonight. And yes, this event is going to be recorded. And again, I just want to welcome you all and make you feel real comfortable here. We've got a real special treat, and I've been so blessed with my sponsor, Kai Jacobson, and his expertise and his wisdom and guidance. And but I had the privilege and the honor of in 2021, when Carl Krebs, during the pandemic, we decided, you know what, let's go to the convention. There wasn't one in 2020 because of the pandemic, but 2021, when they opened it up again, we flew out to Orlando. Well, Carl drove, I flew, and we had the honor of meeting David Jumper and his wife Spira. We even had the opportunity to meet and mingle with them up in their penthouse there, and it was just really, really special. I know Coach Clarissa was up in the penthouse with us, and she had Rich Dilla from the Philippines, and she was interviewing David and got to know his wife Spira. And David has shared a lot over the course of the last number of years about Lifewave, and he's been what you call a lifer. He's been there from the very beginning, and he's going to be sharing with us some amazing things. And tonight, you're going to hear why this individual achieved the Lifetime Achievement Award, why he received that directly from David Schmidt in Orlando. I mean, this guy is a trooper, an incredible individual, a people person, and just love David and his wife, Spira. And tonight is all about David. So get your pens, papers out. We're rocking Lifewave right now. We've got a team of people that are just absolutely on fire. And I'm going to hand it right over to Judy Friesen as she goes into interview mode with David Jumper. So thank you, David, for taking your time out and being on the Success Team LiveYounger first Tuesday of the month call. Back to you, Judy.
All right, thanks so much, Pete. Well, you know, the excellent, consummate, excellent interviewer is really Carl. So I apologize. You're not going to get the A+ interviewer, because I've seen Carl in action, and I can learn a few things from him for sure on the technique of interviewing. So I'll do my best. So my first question is not even written down here for you, and that is, I'm riffing off of what Pete just said. He mentioned that, David, you have received the Lifetime Achievement Award. Can you just tell our audience, how did that come to be? What was it that David was recognizing you for doing? And really, how did you get there and how did it make you feel?
Well, I think the word was premature because I think I still have a lot of life in me. But it's after right now we're in 2 weeks' time, I will have been involved with Lifewave for 20 years. I actually got started in the middle of July 2004, prior to the opening of Lifewave. So it was we actually officially opened November 15th, roughly 2004. Sorry, what was your question?
How did you receive what did you do to receive the
Right.
Lifetime Achievement Award?
That's something that I would say that David Schmidt, really is the one that would articulate that the best. And I would say that bottom line for me, it's been a dedication to Lifewave. I've been on the advisory board, for most of my years with Lifewave, right up until roughly when X39 was introduced, and I got off the board shortly after that. But it's really that dedication, my belief in Lifewave, and I think my contribution to building Lifewave and supporting growth globally, I would say, has been probably had the most impact. But I know David Schmidt had a lot to say, and I unfortunately I don't even have a recording of everything David said at the convention. So here I am. Basically I love Lifewave, and it's been exciting, from the very beginning. And I've stayed focused, and not that I haven't been distracted. I think everybody can get distracted, but I've kept my focus, and I think that's really the key with success with Lifewave is not quitting, and really that belief, because there's just a lot of various opportunities and companies out there, but there really is only one Lifewave. There's only one Lifewave technology. I'm here because of not only the technology, but really the integrity of David Schmidt and his incredible mind, and creativity, and I would say, and forethought, and really looking, towards the future, and also looking to God for guidance. So for me, that's really been a big part of it, knowing, David Schmidt's, belief, his, spiritual belief, I think has been comforting to me. And it's not something that, some people, wear that on their sleeve. And basically some people use that, as promotion. David doesn't do that. David for a long time just kind of kept his belief to himself, but I think now he's really has that opportunity to witness, to hundreds of thousands of people around the world, and he's taking advantage.
I appreciate that answer, David. So just in interest of time, we've got about 15 minutes left, and I've got 4 key questions for you. So we're looking at maybe a 3 or 4 minute answer if you can. I know you've got good things to say, but I really want to get through these next 4 questions.
Okay.
So let's see the very first one that I've got prepared. Let's go back to the very beginning. There was a story of healing that involved your wife. But beyond that, what was the driving motivation for you to take up Lifewave and continue all these years?
Well, you mean after X39, or
You can answer it however you wish, if you want to do it
Yeah.
before or after X39, but we just
Okay.
want to understand kind of what really drove you to decide to really get involved in this company, besides that it helped your wife.
Right. Okay. Well, originally, going back to the beginning when I got started, my belief actually in the patches when I was originally, someone shared the patches with me, a friend of mine, uh, I really didn't believe it. I didn't, and I actually threw out the samples he gave me. So I was like the worst prospect. And it was only after he followed up and insisted that I try them, and he sent some more patches, that we both got, great results just with the energy enhancer patch, which is our very first patch. From that point on, I had a belief that this was the future. David was very, and and because of David's creativity and forethought, and I felt that there was a huge future with the company, because of his integrity as well. So, I stuck with it. And then, once X39 was introduced, and then, we had, because really for the first 15 years, our sales in Lifewave were fairly gradual. We had some, ups and downs, and, some big growth periods, but generally they're fairly steady and gradual. It was X39, that where the sales took off almost straight up. And I would say that from that point on, that just reinforced, my commitment, especially after my wife's healing. And it was the results that people were getting was, I felt myself that this technology needed to be shared, and it would be almost criminal for me not to share this with everyone I knew, because it was just such a blessing to me and so many of my friends and associates that I know around the world. It was something that I just had to share, and I made that commitment to share Lifewave with the world even more than I had before.
Right.
I went through many times over the 20 years with Lifewave. I went through many times where I just had that reinforcement, of that commitment, because I saw and I experienced, the results of the patches, and also the commitment of David Schmidt, to the field, and integrity as well.
Thank you. I'm hearing a theme coming through here: focus and commitment, and sticking with it, and looking for those things that will reinforce. With that in mind, I was wondering, with knowing what you know now, what would you have done differently, if anything, at the beginning of building your Lifewave business?
I did work very hard in the beginning, and I believe when you're joining a network marketing company, no matter what it is, I believe in giving it, the most important time is in that first 90 to 120 days, and it's just giving it your all. I think that it takes a lot of effort to get that jet off the ground, and once you get that up there, and you can cruise, with less effort. I would say that what I would have done is continued that effort for a lot longer, like that massive effort. Where when I talk about that first 90 to 120 days, that is the most important time. And for me, that's the time when I talk to my wife, I talk to my family, and I say, I'm going to be living an unbalanced life. I'm going to be going from 8 to 8 every day. I'll be working weekends, and I need your support and understanding, because this is what it's going to take to help our family achieve the goals together. And that's really what I've found in the past, is really what it takes to create that momentum and a team to build a long-term growing organization. I would have just continued to do that probably for a couple of years. And I would say, just overall, over the time of my entire career with Lifewave, I would have given double the effort, to the business. I would have doubled the effort.
Yeah, right.
100%. And that's the one thing.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. So Lifewave, as you know, has really evolved into a huge global success. How does that global success influence the opportunity of Lifewave now for those in local markets? And what do you think is the number one thing that you would tell people to do now in light of that global success?
I would say, there's an old saying, a rising tide lifts all boats or all ships. And that's, we're experiencing a time that is where a lot of people are hearing about Lifewave, and the ground is really fertile for, bringing in new people or sponsoring people, because there's a lot of people that are hearing about Lifewave, they haven't joined. So it's really the best time to be building the business. Mm-hmm. And the first 20 years with Lifewave, really, the company has been building that foundation. But this is still because of the new products with X39 and really this growth that's happened really in the United States, especially. This has happened only in the last couple of years, where we've seen that massive growth. Even just in May, we just experienced the highest sales in history in the U.S. And Canada, by the way, and also highest number of enrollments right. in the U.S. As well. So this is the time to take advantage of that rising tide. Reach out to everyone because these people are hearing about Lifewave, and sometimes it's the people are not going to join on with the first person that contacts them. So often that you might be that third or fourth or fifth or sixth person that contacts somebody or lets them or tells your story, and that's going to make a difference. Only one person, just by sponsoring one person on Lifewave, you can change hundreds and thousands of people's lives. And I've seen this happen over and over again. So it's not a matter of numbers. It's obviously the more people you reach out to, the better. But with Lifewave, everybody is important. And we've got something here that, if you just don't hesitate, share this with everyone and you can build, a huge business. And right. The more people you bless with Lifewave, the more you'll be blessed.
Exactly. It's a wonderful reciprocal kind of a way of living. And you're right, tell everybody and don't stop with a bunch of no's, just keep telling people. So it sounds like you really put your shoulder to the plow, so to speak. You've kept on going. And the effort that I think you've mentioned, that you worked not just 3 or 4 hours at it in the beginning for sure. You are telling us that it does take effort. And if we minimize that too much, I think that people will get discouraged. So you of all people know it took sometimes 50, 60 hours a week to get that plane, as you said, lifted off the ground. So when we were thinking about this question, about how would you tell people now, what would you tell people to do in light of the global success? My next question is kind of off of that, to do with the global markets. In an effort to market locally, but think globally, how do you, or what have you found is the thing that you have had success in being able to open up new markets when you don't even know anybody in that country? It seems daunting to some of us how to market this thing globally. What is your kind of 1, 2, 3, if you could capsulize it in a short little bit? What's your 1, 2, 3 when you hear that Lifewave is going to open up in XYZ new country? what goes through your mind? What do you actually do to get into that market?
Well, what I'm going to do, if I know the market specifically is going to be opening, we don't always get that much of a notice. So I think it's important to build your social media list of followers and contacts, and I would say that when you find out a company or a country is opening, that's where you're going to be asking people, who do you know, but not necessarily just in your as far as sponsoring new people. I think it's important to build your team locally, and then as a group, really have that theme within your group that you constantly are talking about building this new, opening up this new country. Who do you know, and need to be talking about this and on social media, etc. When I decided to build a business in Thailand, this is actually a contact that I had developed. Someone added me as a friend, and I just developed a friendship with this person. I let him know I was in Lifewave. I didn't. I wasn't really aggressive. I would just share with him what I was doing and let him know, and I would stay in touch. And then when I let him know that I was coming to Thailand, he I let him know, and he got excited, and this was something where he arranged for me to meet some people, and from that point, that just it actually, in that scenario, I had a meeting with somebody. I had planned to fly to Tokyo to meet with somebody regarding opening Korea. Okay. So just to give a little background of this, and because that meeting fell through, I didn't want to stop the momentum. So I just reached out to this one person. I thought, who do I know that I can go and work with, in Thailand or in Korea? And it turned out, this fellow here was open to that I developed a relationship with. He was open to me coming to Korea or to Thailand. And so I didn't want to lose momentum. So I took the trip. I actually called my daughter. I said, look, do you want to go to Thailand? So this wasn't really planned. And she said, well, she said, when? I said, well, tomorrow. She says, well, give me 3 or 4 days. So we ended up flying to Thailand, meeting this guy out of the blue. We started doing some meetings, and before you know it, that ended up sprouting not only from Thailand into Korea, and we ended up growing in Korea. It's really just having that intention to do what you want to do, letting people know what your intention is, and do it. There's so many ways to build, and I would say there's not really a 1, 2, 3. It's really reaching out to everyone, letting people know, where we're expanding to, and I just regarding the expanding internationally, that's something I could easily spend, an hour or two talking about just that alone, because it's quite complex. But the bottom line is that you just got to get things going. You got to get started, and it all starts with just making those initial contacts.
And you took the risk of going to Thailand, not knowing if this guy was really going to join Lifewave, right? He had not made any kind of a commitment to you.
He made a commitment, and he he was having difficulty explaining the business.
Right.
So I just said, and he wanted me to come. So I told him, we're coming. And then what he did, he arranged for all his prospects to come meet with me. They were all coming up from all over Bangkok to meet with me in the hotel. In the restaurant. And we just did one-on-ones for a few days and got the base going
Right.
in Thailand.
So that gentleman who you are talking about, your initial contact, tell us today, where is he at in the business?
You know what's interesting? He actually brought in some of the best people in Thailand into the business, and I helped him bring these people in. And he had some a tragedy happen with his family. His mother and father, went out for a walk late at night, and they got hit by a truck, both of them. And his dad passed away. So while he's been going through all this, and I've helped him out a little bit, I've focused actually on his organization in Thailand and helping them. So while he's been, getting, his life back on track, he has a huge organization, the fastest growing organization in Thailand now under him. And actually, not only in Thailand, it's spread into Korea. So for him, it's a real blessing, and it's also, it's turned into, a huge opportunity. And that now has really exposed Lifewave to thousands of people,
Right.
In Thailand and in Korea.
Just so that
Just as one off the cuff, calling my daughter, hey, let's go to Thailand. So
I think we all need to be encouraged is, you did this kind of off the cuff thing. You got to know this guy in social media. You went there, you helped him out, and and that was how many ever years ago. And it just helps us all to sit here and to picture, like you did that, and whether he had, maybe backed off of Lifewave or not, you said he has a big organization. Can you just kind of help us all with our minds when we're trying to think about the future? Just give us a number. If you have just a guesstimate, does he have like 100 people in his downline, 1,000 people in his downline? Like, what are you talking about? What's the spark that ended today? How large are we talking?
It's grown to about 2,000.
Wow. Amazing.
So far. And these are both, growing countries. Right. So with Korea, this is just the beginning.
Excellent. By the way, I just got from Bangkok on Saturday night.
Oh, fantastic.
There you go. You know what? I have one more question left, but I also don't want to miss out on some of our listeners wanting to ask some key questions to you. And so there's a number of them here in the chat, and I'm just going to read them out quickly. And if you could just give just a minute or two answer, that would be great. The first question that comes from our group is, what are your favorite ways to share? They have down, social media, of course, you've mentioned, calling contacts that you have on your phone, talking to strangers in public places. What is your favorite way to share Lifewave?
Just everyone I talk to, I wouldn't say there's a favorite. It's, I think a lot of people are just afraid to let people know what they're doing. And, and it's good to ask questions, right? So
what kind of questions tend to lead with when you meet somebody that you haven't really talked to much, but you have them in your contacts somehow? What would be that first question that you'd lead with, David?
Well, it depends. I would generally, it's not where I would just come out of the blue and ask a question. So I would, have a conversation with them, just a normal, casual conversation. I'd let them know what I am doing. And then I'd ask them, hey, you know, do you know anyone that's in pain or could use, you know, a product like this, you know, depending on the patches and on the age of the person and that type of thing. You know, I don't have one script, but
Yeah.
I think it's good to ask questions and find out, you know, what people's needs are, and then offer a solution.
That's great. Thanks. From Coach Clarissa, she said, she's asking, for the benefit of our brand new partners here, what are the top 3 reasons that you are promoting our technology, and what words of encouragement do you have for everyone? We are coming down to the bottom of the hour, so I know that I'm not wanting to rush you, but I just want to let you know that we wanted to try to stick to the 30-minute mark. We'll probably close off the recording, and then we'll stay on for those who can stay on longer. But if you can maybe address that question from Coach Clarissa, that'd be great.
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
What are the top 3 reasons that you are promoting our technology, and what words of wisdom or encouragement would you have for everybody? So what are the top 3? I think you kind of covered it, but you can go over that again.
You know, I would say, you know, one of the top reasons, well, first of all, it's a global company. So, you know, for me, you know, I've always wanted to, you make money 24/7 while I sleep. So, you know, to do that, you really need to have a global company. And that really, you know, sort of is the most secure type of business. There's not a lot of global companies with products that are in wide demand. So that, you know, that is there with Lifewave. You know, the reason that I would say from a technology point of view with Lifewave is, you know, I was on a call, I just want to share this really quick, a call with David Schmidt. And he was letting me know about the new technology that Lifewave is going to be introducing at the convention. And I want to tell you that what he told me was just jaw-dropping, absolutely mind-blowing. And I had an idea of what was coming. And, you know, David has he's let the cat out of the bag, you know, during some previous calls and at a previous convention. But when I found out how far David had progressed in developing this brand new technology that no other company in the world has, and this is something that we're going to have the opportunity to market this patented technology that is absolutely life-changing. It supports X39, but even on its own, this is really the most exciting technology I've seen next to the Lifewave patches. And it is something, in my opinion, because of what's going to come in October, if I could give everyone one bit of advice, if you go out there today and build like you've never built before, because come October, after the convention, you're going to wish you had shared this with every single person you've walked into and met no matter where you've been, because you'll be kicking yourself when you find out what we've got, if you haven't been giving this everything you have. And I know that doesn't give you a lot to go by, but after 20 years, what David Schmidt shared with me has me just, I'm awestruck. You know, I just, it is the most incredible new technology. And it's to support X39, support the patches, but also it's going to just take this to a whole nother level. And to add one thing onto that, the financial opportunity here is going to be huge. There's going to be a way to earn money here that is going to be even faster than what we currently have.
Wow, that is just a wow answer. And coming from you, I take every word that what you are saying is no exaggeration and no lie whatsoever. Like when you say what you've just said, we can take that probably times 10. It's going to be that big and that amazing. And I can personally hardly wait until October's convention, because I think that's when it's going to get rolled out. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Right. And basically, you know, I've seen the final product, the final I mean, I was just flabbergasted when I saw what is ready to roll out at the
I
convention.
I
It
think
is going to, people are just going to be absolutely,
yes.
you know, amazed. You know,
Uh,
it's going to create more excitement than anything else I believe we've ever seen in the industry. Uh,
wow.
and on top of X39 and the Lifewave technology, it's just a cherry on top of the, you
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
the cake or pie.
Uh, thank you so much, David. I've got this one other burning question that we'll have to take after we close down, because we wanting to stick to the 30-minute mark, and it's about retention and about opening the front door but closing the back door. And another question came in sort of on that vein about, you know, somebody that maybe tries Lifewave and then they get cold and they walk away. What do you do with those people? So it's a little bit more on the whole retention. So everybody, if we would like to, I'm going to hand it over to Pete to close it down, but hang on, stay here with us, David, if you have a few more minutes, and let's talk
Sure.
about, and if you don't mind, and anybody who has time can stay on and listen to what you have to say about retention. So thank you, David, so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to know you, to ask you these questions. I know there's so much more that we could have gone into, but this has whetted our appetite. So again, my personal thank you to you, and over to Pete.
You're welcome, Judy.
Well, thank you so much, Judy and David Jumper. I appreciate you immensely, and just the opportunity that you gave us at convention with some of our team members to come up to your penthouse and just interview you and have a personal, intimate conversation with you. One thing I do wish for you to touch on very briefly here, and I know our listeners will forgive us, we've gone a little over time, and you know what, this is just worth it. So I want you to talk about Spira for one moment, your wife, where she was, where she is now. Spend just a minute, 2 minutes on that topic, because I know I met Spira personally. I know where she was, and I think our audience will want to hear this story of where your wife was. So speak to that for one moment, if you would, David, in closing.
Oh, okay. So yeah, real quick, back in 2017, my wife started to get had an autoimmune disease started to creep up on her, and she became bedridden. Everything she was eating was causing her more inflammation, more pain. It just got worse and worse. She, you know, started, it got to the point where she couldn't drive anymore, and she always needed to go, you know, visit her mother. She couldn't, you know, cook anymore. You know, she couldn't hold a glass of water. She'd be dropping forks and things like that. Things just kept progressing worse and worse, and even, you know, with all the other patches before X39, you know, really nothing was helping her, you know, through this. And so this was in you know, towards mid 2018. She was bedridden. I had to dress her in the morning. I had to put her clothes on and help her down to the sofa, where I did all the cooking, the cleaning, the shopping, everything. And you know, meanwhile, I'm trying to research and find you know, solve the, you know, her problem. So what happened was, you know, this was right when X39 was introduced. David Schmidt told me that he had this new patch, and he sent me a couple months supplies of this new patch. It was called X39, which was not really going to be the name. It's just a prototype X39 or prototype number 39. And he sent them to me. This was July 14. I got my wife out of bed. I dressed her, brought her down to the kitchen, and I did some. And I told her want to put this patch in her hand. I put the patch in the palm of her hand, in her right hand. I did some muscle tests just to see if, they would help her with the strength, and if she would be able to, if she would notice any difference. Anyway, within 5 minutes, she had tears flowing down her face and tears of joy because the pain was just melting away. She said her whole body felt like she had like a wave of a warm wave just swept over her whole body. And for the first time, she was beginning to feel relief from this pain. First time I'd seen her smile in many months, because she was in constant pain day and night. And within 1 week after that, and she began wearing the X39 patch below her belly button. Every night she would wear it for 12 hours. She actually wore it a little longer than that every night. In a week's time, my daughter and I heard some banging in the kitchen. There, and my wife, we ran into the kitchen, and my wife's in there hammering a chicken with the tenderizing hammer for the first time we'd seen her cook, in probably in almost a year. And this was just a week after using the X39. So we knew she was beginning to feel a lot better. She's Greek, she loves to cook. And 3 weeks after that, she was fully recovered, shopping for new clothes, beginning to eat everything that she couldn't eat before that was causing her, to flare up. And, she basically had her life back. She was able to drive again. It was, she got her life back, and I got my wife back.
Beautiful, David. You know what? We met Spira, and the energy she had, even in your penthouse, in the kitchen, and being this amazing hostess, just so powerful. I'd heard your story before, but just thought it was fair for our audience to hear it from your heart to their heart. So very, very powerful, and just an amazing restoration and healing with that amazing product, X39. And I know we normally have our friend, my sponsor, Kai Jacobson, on. He's amazing as well. But for the sake of time, Kai, we're going to have you on in the very near future again. Just appreciate each and every one of you for taking time out of your schedule to be on this call. So, David, I really want to thank you for just coming on here from Nassau, Bahamas. I know you're originally from Toronto, and you left Canada. You live in the Bahamas, living the life. We follow you and just love you immensely, and appreciate you so much. And with your permission, we'll have you back in the future again here, David. So, Kai, as my sponsor, any final words that you would like to share with everyone here, Kai? I'd just love to give you the floor for a sec.
Well, thank you, David. Thanks so much for being on the call. I have a question, a really quick question, and it's not like a long answer. The question I would love to ask you is, you have one of the biggest groups. I think you have the biggest group in the whole company and probably have one of the top earning checks. Is it true that 90% of your income and your groups come from, let's say, 3 people that you sponsored?
Yeah, I would say so.
It's true. I kind of know the answer, and I think it is true.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so I want everybody to know David's probably got 600,000 people in his downline. 600,000. I have over half, which is 300,000 that came into my downline. I'm one of those 3. And you don't have to go get 600,000 people. You just have to get 3 good ones. That's what I'd like you to walk away, knowing that you only have to find 3 good ones. And I bet, David, you knew those people, at least 2 of them, before you started the business.
Absolutely.
Maybe even all 3. So you may even know those people right now. Just something to think about.
So the key message here, ladies and gentlemen, is don't discount anyone. Speak to them. You just never know. That could be a potential Kai Jacobson or a David Schmidt or a Judy Friesen just waiting for you to say hello and develop a relationship. So thank you so much, Kai. Thank you so much, David and Judy,
You're welcome.
for all you did. And everyone, we're going to stay on. We're going to end the recording. I just, again, want to thank each and every one of you for your time tonight.